So, welcome to episode 6 of The Stove. I'm Jacob, and he is David. So,
Sorry for the little hiatus.
Yeah,
I know you're really, really upset.
We were busy.
College.
Yeah. So, all right, let's start off with the playoffs. Let's start with, by far, the best game, and what's so far been the best series, the Nets and the Celtics. So, the Celtics win game 2. They protect home court and now go up 2-0. Kevin Durant has been awful in games.
That was
1 and 2.
the worst game I've ever seen him play.
Kyrie had 10 points last night.
Yeah, that's you're not going to win when your two stars have that terrible game.
The Celtics held Kyrie and Durant to 1 for 17 in the second half from the field. Durant was 0 for 10 in the second half. He didn't make a single field goal in the last 24 minutes of the game.
Jason Tatum absolutely shut him down.
Yeah, Jason Tatum is such an underrated defender. I mean, he is a top 5 perimeter defender in the league. He's long. He's got a 7-foot wingspan, and he's 6'8". He can move his feet, and he's strong. He's jacked. So, I mean, the Celtics at this point, they go up 2-0. Now you go back to Brooklyn, and if you're Boston, you want to win either game 3 or game 4, or both. Both works too. But if you win one of the two in Brooklyn, then Brooklyn has to win 3 in a row or 4 in a row if you win game 3. So that's hard to do. So Boston is in really good shape right now. Plus, Boston is 40-1 in franchise history when they're up 2-0. We won't talk about that one time. But
yes, we will.
No, we will.
It was LeBron.
Yeah. Well, LeBron's not even in the playoffs now, so
he's let gone.
And Durant's about to be let gone too. So
yeah.
Boston, this is the best I've ever seen Kevin Durant be defended through 2 games. Because a lot of people were saying yesterday, Durant doesn't have back-to-back bad games. And I agree, Durant doesn't have back-to-back bad games unless you force him to have back-to-back bad games. And it's not like Durant is just like missing shots and he's turning, he had 6 turnovers. It's not like he was pitching all over the place. Boston took it from him. They just went up to him and took it from him. It's not like he's throwing the ball all over the place.
They got physical with him. They played football against him.
Yeah.
That's how they played defense against him.
As good as Durant is thin, he's skinny, and you can push Durant around. Durant is not the most – Durant can be soft at times.
Yeah,
and I thought the moment that I think I realized that Boston was getting into Durant's psyche was when he went up to the free throw line and he missed 2 straight free throws. You go up to the free throw line and you miss 2 straight free throws and you're a 90% free throw shooter.
Yeah.
Something's gotten in your head. And it's like he was hearing footsteps throughout the game behind him because it felt like every single shot that Durant was taking was off 1 foot. He was fading away. It felt like it was so incredible because it almost looked like Boston had 6 or 7 people on the floor at times because, when Durant shot, the same 3 players were always around him. It was Tatum, Brown, and Horford who were always around him.
Exactly.
Because Marcus Smart can seem to guard Kyrie one-on-one.
Yeah,
he could last night. He couldn't in the first game, but he could last night.
Yeah, he held Kyrie to 10 points, which is incredible.
I think Boston's game plan has been pretty good. They've come into this saying, and this is different from last year. Last year, Boston's game plan was, we are going to shut down your teammates and we're going to force those 3 to have a big game to win. Well, it's different this year. They have shut down Kyrie and Durant and are going to force the role players to step up and make plays if the Nets are going to win. And this is where the depth problem has come in. Brooklyn is not deep enough right now to contend with Boston. And if Durant and Kyrie do not pick it up, they will lose again. It doesn't matter how much they want it or how bad they want it. If Durant does not play better and Kyrie does not play better, Brooklyn's going to be bounced and it's going to be bounced in 4 or 5 games because Brooklyn right now seems to have no answer to the defense, and this is where the Steve Nash coaching problem also comes in. Ime Udoka has been a coach for 1 year. Ime Udoka is already miles ahead of Steve Nash in terms of defense. Steve Nash could not make mid-game adjustments. Obviously, can't make game-to-game adjustments either.
No,
and that's a problem.
Yeah, so, Steve Nash was thoroughly outcoached in that game. I mean,
both games.
Yeah, both games. And You know, the Nets had a 10-point lead going into the second half, and they had a lead going into the fourth quarter, I believe.
Yeah,
and
5.
Yeah, they blew it, obviously, and you know, when your star player gets shut down by Jason Tatum like that, you're not going to win many games. And they got decent production from everybody. Goran Dragic comes off the bench, scores 18. But Seth Curry scores 16. Bruce Brown scores 23.
But the problem is when those points were scored. Those points weren't scored in the fourth quarter. Those points were scored in the first and second quarter.
Yeah.
Peyton Pritchard had 10. All of Peyton Pritchard's points were in the fourth quarter. Marcus Smart stepped up in the fourth quarter. Boston scored in the fourth quarter. The Nets went 7-minute. They had 2 5-minute stretches in the fourth quarter where they scored 2 points. 2 5-minute. This is what they say is the best offense in the league. They had 2 stretches of 5 minutes where they didn't score a single point. I mean, if you're Durant, you play 42 minutes in the game. You have 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 personal fouls, and 27 points. You're 1 for 2 from 3 and 4 for 17, and you're 18 for 20 from the free throw line. That's not good enough. I mean, you're minus 10 when he's on the floor. I mean, he had 6 turnovers. That's the biggest one to me, is the 6 turnovers. You know,
yeah.
I mean, Durant, he got to the free throw line and shot 20 free throws, but if you just hack someone every time they come into the lane, then his psyche has made him miss shots. Durant is missing a ton of shots.
Yeah. And
Durant is deadly in the mid-range. I mean, he gets into the mid-range area. It's almost unguardable. And Boston has proved you can guard him. Yeah. But Boston has a group that they have a center who, Al Horford, who can guard, and he's not fast, but he's not slow. You know, he's not Andre Drummond out there. So he's not slow.
Not the big thing one.
Jason Tatum is long and can guard. Jaylen Brown can really guard. Marcus Smart can guard. They're doing all of this without their best interior defender, who's Robert Williams. They're doing all this. And Robert Williams may come back in game 3 or 4. What are the Nets going to do then? Because, you know, and I'm not going to bag on people who are like, oh, the Nets, saying the Nets were going to win. I didn't think the Nets were going to win. But seriously, I picked Boston to win in 7 games. It doesn't look like it's going to go 7 games right now. Unless Brooklyn makes a big adjustments in games 3 and 4.
I don't see that happening, though. I think the Celtics are probably going to take this series. Looking at it now, they're probably going to take it in 5.
Yeah.
I think the Nets will be able to at least take 1 game in Brooklyn, but with the way they're playing right now and the way Boston's defense is just absolutely shutting them down, I think it's probably going to be 5 games and then they're out.
Yeah.
All right.
And I just want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
You know, when you're the Steve Nash, I don't understand, you know, why would you not try to play like LaMarcus Aldridge? Or why would you not try to put, as much as I love Blake Griffin, why don't you put him in? I mean, he's someone, those are 2 people that can spread the floor. Andre Drummond does not spread the floor. Andre Drummond sits in the paint. Those are 2 players that can spread the floor. LaMarcus Aldridge can step out and really hit jump shots.
Yeah, especially mid-range.
Blake Griffin is a 3-point threat. He can hit threes. LaMarcus Aldridge can hit threes. They will be able to spread the floor for you. Right now, they're not spreading the floor. They're starting Andre Drummond. And by the way, Drummond on the other end, he's not even guarding Horford. Horford's getting open threes, and Horford was 3 for 6 on threes. He had 3 huge threes down the stretch that kept Boston in the game. Brooklyn played awful yesterday. They played good in the first half, I thought, on defense, especially in the fourth quarter. They just stopped playing defense. It's like they just stopped, and they certainly stopped playing offense in the fourth quarter. So it was a very bad game. So
yeah, that was about as good of defense as the Nets have played all year, which not really saying much, but
they still gave up 114.
Yeah, exactly. And let's move on to the second game that happened yesterday. Is the 76ers taking a 3-0 lead against the Raptors, which was an incredible game. And Joel Embiid hitting a monster shot in overtime, which one of the incredible shot. And they're probably going to sweep the Raptors now, I would imagine.
Yeah, Sixers have got it now. The Raptors were up by a lot at one point. They were up by as much as 17. But
That's a pretty big deficit.
Yeah, that's a pretty big lead that they had, and they jumped out to a lead, and it looked like that the Sixers were going to get beat. And it's really tough to beat a team 3 straight times, especially a good team. And Toronto is a good team. And it's tough to beat a team 3 straight times. And Philadelphia right now is just
– they look scary.
They're on another level right now. Now,
Yeah.
I would say that Miami is the other team right now that seems to be on another level. That's going to be an interesting round, too, with Miami and Philadelphia. I would favor Philadelphia in that series.
Really?
But, yeah, but I think that right now, to me, I don't think there's any team right now in the basketball that has looked more impressive through the first 2 or 3 games than Philadelphia. I mean, Philadelphia, we talked about it. We thought Philadelphia would be lucky to win the series because I picked them in 7. I thought Toronto would be able to push it.
Yeah.
And they're about to be bound. They're going to lose in 4. So, I mean, this is, this series is over. So,
Yeah,
I mean, but really impressive by Philadelphia. Joel Embiid should be the MVP, and I think he will be the MVP, and he should be the MVP. Joel Embiid is the best center in basketball, and he's proved it. And Embiid's unbelievable. And I think he's hit 33 points last night, and he shoots free throws better than LeBron does. So, I mean,
The only thing that really scares me about the 76ers looking at this is 4 of their 5 starters had more than 43 minutes played.
Yeah, they're not very deep. They don't.
Yeah, exactly. That's what scares me. And Maxey, who is a great young player, he's going to be great. He has 47 minutes. Embiid has 44 minutes. Green has 46 minutes, and Tobias Harris has 47 minutes.
Yeah.
And James Harden plays 38 minutes. And
didn't all play good. He didn't shoot. He doesn't shoot. Philadelphia is getting Harden off the hook because Harden has not played good the first 3 games, and they're getting him off the hook. But
they need some production from their bench. It's not happening. Right?
No, it's not. And
they were lucky to get this win. They were absolutely lucky to get this win.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if they win. I don't know if they win if Joel Embiid misses that shot.
Well, they may have still won, but
maybe. But
the only thing that worries me about Philadelphia is the inexperience. And look, as much as winning is a culture, losing can just as much be a culture as well. I don't mean to bag on your Cubs, but
hey,
you have a culture when you have a culture of history, as the Braves have had a culture of losing in the playoffs over the last 20 years. Teams have a culture of losing. Atlanta sports has a culture of losing.
Minnesota sports has a culture of losing.
The
Wolves have perennially sucked, and this year we happen to be pretty good.
Yeah.
And the Twins haven't won since in like 30 years, and the Vikings have obviously never won, and the Wild have never won.
Yeah.
So, I definitely know what a culture of losing is.
Yeah. And I think Philadelphia has that because I don't think the Sixers are going to win the finals. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think
the Sixers are going to get out of the Eastern Conference. Sorry, go ahead.
If they do have a shot to win, James Harden needs to come up big in the playoffs, which has not happened.
No, and he's not a great playoff performer.
No, he's not.
You remember that year the Rockets missed like 27 straight threes against the Warriors?
Didn't they have like a 3-1 lead in that series or something?
I think they were up 3-2, and I think in Game 7 they were up by like 20 and missed 27 straight threes. But you can win with just playing 5 players. It's harder to do it in the NBA than it is in
Tar Heels did it.
Yeah, that's college. That's a little bit different.
That's
but
true,
when you're playing the NBA and in college basketball you have 6 games to win, and the games are 40 minutes.
In
when
the
you're
NBA,
in the NBA, you have 16 games to win or more because it's
you obviously play a lot more games, though.
And it's 48 minutes. And not only are you playing against much better competition, you're playing against much more physical competition in the NBA, as much as the NBA is soft. Bring back the hand checking rules, NBA.
Yeah.
And the NBA
get rid of Scott Foster.
That's Chris Paul's fault. But anyway, That
By the
has
way-
nothing to do with that. I hate it when people. We're going to talk about that later. I'm going to go on that because that pisses me off.
By the way, Chris
Scott-
Paul is 0-13 versus
I
Scott
don't
Foster.
care.
I love
Chris Paul is not a good playoff performer. That's why he's 0-23 against Scott Foster. This
13.
notion that Scott Foster just hates Chris Paul and just makes him lose
What if
has
he does
nothing to
that?
do with it. They lost to the Pelicans the other night because they let Brandon Ingram score 39
Yeah.
and Devin Booker got hurt. That's why
And
they
Zion
lost.
wasn't even playing.
Had nothing to do with Scott Foster. You can't stop a little skinny guy from scoring 39 points. And I love Brandon Ingram. He's really talented. But if you can't stop him from scoring 39, well, that's your problem. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm going to get into that later
Right.
because that angers me when people bring that up. Chris, stop it.
Mhm.
But anyway, the Sixers, I don't think are going to win the East, but I do think the Sixers obviously are going to beat the Raptors, and we're going to go to our predictions later. So I don't want to go.
And then the Bulls beating the Bucks in Game 2 and tying the series, and DeMar DeRozan, bless you,
Thank you.
and DeMar DeRozan scores 41 points. Absolutely went off in this game.
This surprised me.
It
This
did.
surprised me a lot because
And then another thing that came out of this game is Chris Middleton goes down with a big injury, which is detrimental to the Bucks, to say the least.
yeah, I think that the Bucks will still be able to get past the Bulls whether Middleton plays or not. But if you have to go against Boston in the second round without Chris Middleton,
I don't know.
you're going to struggle. Or if you have to go against Philadelphia or Miami in these later rounds, you're going to struggle. And I think Milwaukee is in a little bit of trouble with that, as do I think the Suns are in a little bit of trouble without
Yeah.
Devin Booker for 2 to 3 weeks because, even if they get past the Pelicans, then you're going to have to play either the Mavericks or the Jazz. And if you let those teams go up 2-0 on you, you're going to have trouble in those series. So I think this is a little bit of a problem for the Bucks. The Bucks are a deeper team, though. They're deeper. They have Grayson Allen and Connaughton and Bobby Portis and Serge Ibaka and Javon Carter who come off the bench who can score. They're deeper than the Bulls are because the Bulls' best bench player is probably Kobe White. So they're probably deeper than the Bulls are, but that's a big loss. I mean, that's a big loss. Giannis plays some big minutes, by the way. But when to me, and this is just my opinion, when the Bucks are fully healthy, when Giannis, Drew Holiday, and Chris Middleton are playing, and Brooke Lopez is playing and blocking 10 shots, and Wesley Matthews
Like he does in
is playing
2K
well,
all the time.
yeah, this Bucks team is the best team in the East and should win if all those players play. I think the Bucks should, as much as I love Boston, I think that the Bucks should be able to get out of the East. But if Chris Middleton is not playing, that's 20 points that you're losing right there. That who's going to step up and score them? Because Giannis scored 33. Drew Holiday's so inconsistent. But anyway,
He won't be able to score at all if he has Marcus Smart on him.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, all right. So tonight,
No, we got to talk about the night before that. We already talked about Chris Paul going 0-13 versus Scott Foster. Now we got to talk about the Timberwolves losing by 28 points.
well, the Grizzlies, first of all,
I don't get it. I don't get it. How do you lose by 28 points in Game 2 after you just come off a huge win in Game 1?
because the Timberwolves have an emotion problem and they don't know how to control emotions, as we saw after the play-in game.
Oh, yeah.
They don't know how to do that.
Right after that, they win Game 1, though, and we looked impressive in Game 1.
And I have looked at this for 2 seconds. I can tell you why they lost. Karl Anthony Towns shot the ball 7 times.
Exactly.
That's all I need to see.
Yeah. And
Shot the ball
D'Angelo
7
Russell
times.
D'Angelo Russell went 3 for 11 and 2 for 7 from 3.
Yeah.
And
you start Jared Vanderbilt, and he only plays 9 minutes.
oh no,
He
he got 1 point
Yeah.
and 2 rebounds. And
Shaden was 1 for 7.
Yeah, and Malik Beasley has 7 points, which is not going to cut it. Naz Reid has 12 points, and Taurean Prince has 12.
And Anthony
Really
Edwards,
frustrating game.
Anthony Edwards is just too young right now to carry a team to a win.
Yeah,
to a
he's-
playoff win. He's just too young.
He's going to get there, though.
He'll
He's
get there, maybe.
so good.
Maybe he'll get there in a few years, but right now he's just not that guy. And to me, I don't want to see him taking 10 of his 16 shots from the 3-point
Yeah.
line. Anthony Edwards is a good shooter, but he's not an elite shooter. Anthony Edwards needs to get to the rim because Anthony Edwards is really good going downhill to the rim.
But to be fair, he did shoot 40% from three, which is
He did, but he also shot the ball 3 of 6. But he needs to get downhill more. He doesn't need to be settling for threes.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll see. We'll see how they.
Stephen A. Smith said it right. He's built like a linebacker. He has enough power to go inside and just muscle people out of the way.
Yeah.
He's-
What makes the Grizzlies so good is the Grizzlies. Listen to these numbers. Jaren Jackson had 16. John Morant had 23. Desmond Bain had 16. Clark had 13. Xavier
Did you
Tillman
say
had
60?
13. No, 16.
Oh, I thought you said 60.
Trey Jones had 10. Melton had 7, and Williams had 13. That's all. That's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players in double figures.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies do not have to have Ja Morant go for 40 to win the game because they score. Their scoring is so balanced that they don't need that. They scored 124 points with Ja playing 30 minutes. He played 30 minutes and scored 23. And Desmond Bain played more than him, and they won. So
Yeah, exactly. And they
but-
showed it in the regular season. They went like almost 20-3 without Ja.
yeah, and if you're a Cat, get your butt in the paint. What are you doing roaming around the 3-point line? Get your butt in the paint.
Well,
You have Jaren Jackson on you. Steven Adams played 3 minutes the other night. Get your butt in the paint and shoot the ball. Don't shoot. Don't sit out there and shoot. I only shot 1 3. Don't just roam around the 3-point line. Get your butt in the paint and shoot. Don't get Jaren Jackson on you. You're much more athletic than him and you're bigger. Get in the paint.
Yeah, I agree with that. But at the same time, he can really, really shoot.
Yeah, he can, but he only shot 1 time. Either
Yeah, I
shoot
know.
the 3, don't just hang out there.
Yeah, I know.
Shoot it if you're going to do it.
Yeah, if you're gonna roam around the 3-point line, shoot threes.
Yeah, I mean, don't just sit out there.
What I watch him do all the time is he runs out and he acts like a guard almost. He gets the ball outside of the 3-point line, then tries to drive. If he's already in the paint, it would be so much easier for him to score instead of just driving to the rim because he's too big and too just tall to just drive into the lane because guards can just float right in and just take the ball away from him. He can't do that.
We need to see.
He's not really that good at it.
We need to see a skills competition between Karl Anthony Towns and Joel Embiid.
I don't
what we
think
need to
Cat
see.
would win.
I don't know. Maybe.
I know he'd win a 3-point contest.
Yeah, probably.
I'm at,
Not clutch.
He was like-
if he shoots.
yeah, if he shoots. But anyway, let's talk about the other games. Obviously, we just mentioned the.
Let's talk about
Pelicans.
the Hawks and the Heat
The
because I got
Hawks and
some
the Heat.
major opinions on Trey Young.
Yeah.
Trey.
Played great in game. What the playing game or something?
Yeah.
The playing game.
Yeah, and I don't really have a problem with the way he played in game 2. Don't shoot threes 10 times. Don't shoot 10 threes. You're not Steph Curry. I think he thinks he is. He's not.
Yeah, sometimes he'll just walk down the floor.
He just
and-
jack a 3 up.
Exactly, and it'll be the toughest shot you've ever seen. And then he obviously shot 20% from 3 this game.
And he also had 10 turnovers. 10. 10 turnovers.
That's like Russell
10?
Westbrook stats.
These, he had 10 of their 19 turnovers. I mean,
And when you get Bogdan Bogdanovic to score 29 points off the
he
bench,
can't shoot.
he can shoot. But when you get him to score almost 30 points off the bench, you have to be a little bit more competitive than this.
Yeah. You know, I'm looking at this Hawks team right now, and I'm just like, how the hell did they make it to the conference finals last year? I don't even understand why. How? How did this team beat the 76ers? I want to know because they have not played well in the first 2 games. And give a lot of credit to Miami because Miami's played really well in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Trey Young, though, you got to get it together, bud.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, Trey Young, first of all, Trey Young is overrated. Let's get that out of the way to start. I think Trey Young is overrated. He's way too inconsistent.
I
He
think
turns the
can
ball
be
over too much.
I
He
think
shoots
can
too
be
many
overrated.
threes. What?
I think he can be overrated, which sometimes he does take over a game. Like when he scored 31 points in the second half of the playing game,
Yeah.
that's his upside, and that's when he's not overrated. But when he plays like this and shoots 10 threes and only makes 2 and has 10 turnovers, then yes.
Yeah, but when you're only getting that 1 out of every 5 games, you're not going to win a playoff series because you got to win 4 to win a playoff series.
He has to have
1.
He has to have a way better shot IQ. It needs to improve.
He goes into hero mode too much. And this Hawks team has other scorers. Like Gallinari can score. John Collins can score.
The Collins of John.
DeAndre Hunter can score. Kevin Huerter is a really good shooter.
Bogdanovich can really shoot.
You can say that name.
These
These guys can score. Let them score. Like, don't just Gorgie Dieng's on this team too.
I think it's pronounced Jang.
Is it really?
I have no idea.
Dang.
Jang, Dieng.
No. But I mean, to be fair, Jimmy Butler had 45, but he actually shot 4 of 7 from 3. I think that's the biggest miracle of the night.
That's impressive.
But the Heat are so much deeper and they're just better than the Hawks.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy Butler, Adebayo was an up-and-coming star. Kyle Lowry's good. You got Tyler Hero coming off the bench, then you're doing something right.
He's probably going to win, 6 Men of the Year?
Yeah. So, all right, well, tonight.
Let's look at the NBA playoff picture real quick.
Do you want to do our predictions?
Yeah, let's do the predictions.
Okay. All right.
Now, we got the Warriors have a 2-0 lead on the Nuggets right now, and they're looking really, really good, especially with the emergence of Jordan Poole, who probably should win most improved player. I don't know if he will, though.
I doubt it. I don't know.
That's just my opinion. I think he should win it, but the Warriors are more than likely going to take this series from the Nuggets. And right now, my predictions that I made last week or the week before, whenever it was, are looking not too good. My predictions aren't looking too good because I had the Suns winning it all, I'm pretty sure. And right now, the Warriors look like the team to beat to me.
Dude, I have the Suns are not the Grizzlies.
I think you had the Suns making out of the West.
Did I?
But I don't think you had them winning.
I got them losing the Bucks.
I don't remember.
Oh, well. Anyway.
Don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Because our predictions are all messed up now.
All right. Do you want me to go and then you go?
Yeah, you can go.
All right. So we're doing the whole thing, by the way. So just so people no. Okay. Yeah.
I think they know.
Okay. The Heat are going to beat the Hawks in 4 games. The Heat are going to sweep the Hawks.
Maybe
the Hawks get 1, but I doubt it. So Heat beat Hawks in 4. I got Philadelphia sweeping Toronto. I think they're going to win in 4. I got Milwaukee winning in 6 against Chicago. I think that's going to go 6 games now just because of the loss of Chris Middleton. I got Boston beating Brooklyn in 5. I got Phoenix beating New Orleans in 6 right now because of the loss of Devin Booker. I got Dallas beating Utah in 7 because Luka's going to come back, and I think that Dallas will beat them in 7. I got Golden State beating Denver in 5 now. Even though I think that could be a sweep too. I got Memphis beating Minnesota in 6. I've got these are unbiased. Let's see. They're unbiased, 100%. I've got this is all right. Now we get into some good ones. Miami and Philadelphia, which to me
that's going to be
2 great Eastern Conference semifinals. The Bucks and the Celtics and the Heat and the Sixers. You can make an argument that any of those teams would win the NBA Finals and win the whole thing. I'm going to have the Sixers beating the Heat in 7 games. I think it goes the full 7. Celtics and Bucks. It depends on Chris Middleton. If Chris Middleton plays, I got Bucks in 7. If Chris Middleton does not play, I got Boston in 7. Because I think Chris Middleton has kind of become their closer at this point. So
yeah,
I'm going to go with Boston in 7 because I'm going to assume Chris Middleton is not going to play, and I'm going to go with Boston in 7. Okay. Phoenix and Dallas. I got Phoenix in 6. I've got Golden State beating Memphis in 7. And then I'm going to have, so Western Conference and Eastern Conference Finals. So Eastern Conference Finals, I'll have Philadelphia and Boston. As much as I would want Boston to win that, I'm going to have Philadelphia beating Boston in 7. What?
I'm doing my Skip Bayless impression.
Oh, okay. And then you don't even want to see my Shannon impression.
Do it. Put on some glasses and do it.
And then I've got, you know, I was going to be Skip. And then I got, and then I got,
That was great.
And then I got, that was actually pretty good. And then I got Golden State beating Phoenix in 6 to go to the NBA Finals. And I got Philadelphia and Golden State in the finals. And this is because I think playoff experience matters. And I think the experience matters. And as much as I do not like Steph Curry in the NBA Finals, I think Jordan Poole has shown that he is a playoff performer. I think Klay Thompson is a playoff performer already. And if they get Draymond Green back, Draymond Green has actually played really well in the finals at times. He had 32 in Game 7 a few years ago against Cleveland.
I'll never know how that happened.
I don't know. Then they didn't even find him in the fourth quarter. I'm going to go Golden State in 7. They win it in Philadelphia in Game 7 because I think that would be – no, that would not be in Philadelphia. That'd be in Oracle. Yeah, so Golden State wins in, I guess, Chase now. The Chase Arena in Game 7. So I got Golden State beating Philadelphia in 7 games.
It's my turn.
In 7 games.
It's my turn.
I'll interrupt you 50 times.
Yeah, okay. Look on.
It's my turn.
I love when he said, whenever Skip says it's my turn, I
he
feel
says,
like,
okay.
I feel like,
okay, it is my turn.
Whenever he does it, I feel like Shannon gets so pissed inside. I feel like he
dies a little inside.
Yeah, he wants to cuss him out so much. All right. Let's get to my predictions, which is the real accurate ones. Okay, I have the
LeBron's the GOAT too. Not Michael. Because, you know, Michael being competitive and, you know, being so mentally tough and hitting all those game winners, that's being a bad leader. LeBron's a better leader because he has handshakes with everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Shannon.
Yeah, and he cusses more.
LeBron is not the GOAT. He's maybe top 5, maybe. We got to do that segment.
He
one
is
day.
top 5.
No, he's not. We got to do that segment.
LeBron?
Yeah, we'll do that segment.
Yeah, one day. Okay,
maybe
let's
next
get to my
week.
Okay, first series is Miami in Atlanta.
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.
I love when he says their full names. But okay, first series, Miami and Atlanta. I have Miami sweeping Atlanta. I think they'll win game 3 and 4. They move on. And obviously I think the Sixers will sweep the Raptors. They'll move on. And Milwaukee and Chicago, I think, may be a little bit more competitive than you might think now that especially Chris Middleton's down. I think it'll be a little bit more competitive. I have Milwaukee winning in 6.
That's what I had, yeah.
Yeah. But I do think each game will be a lot more close now. Because originally – yeah, well, now that Middleton's down, I think that each game will be really, really stressful for the Bucks.
I agree.
But I agree with you. I think they'll win in 6.
Because Chris Middleton is their best perimeter player.
Yeah,
so
he's a great
Chris
defender.
Middleton, man, can shoot.
Yeah, and he can.
Chris Middleton is so underrated. I don't think people understand how good Chris Middleton is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get off my foot.
Chris Middleton. Skip's getting Nancy. Chris Middleton is so underrated as a player. Chris Middleton is really, really good.
Yeah.
And he had 41 or something in a finals game last year. He's so good. I mean, and he's their closer. I mean, you know, he's not as good as Giannis, but he is their closer. So, I mean, you know, he is really, really good and underrated.
And the next series is Boston and Brooklyn, which I had Did I have Brooklyn?
I think you had Brooklyn in 7. I
had 7. Yeah, I had Brooklyn in 7, and well, that prediction's looking pretty good right now.
I told you, Skip. Shannon's always right.
It's my turn, and Right now, yeah, as I mentioned, that prediction is not looking good at all. Right now, I'm probably going to say Boston is winning in 5. I'll agree with Shannon right now, and I'll say that Boston is going to win in 5. And I think Brooklyn will get. I think Brooklyn will win in Game 3. I think they'll take Game 3, but
I thought they would win Game 2.
I thought they do. I thought they would too, but nope. They blew a lead, and they're going to lose this series right now, and it's going to be Milwaukee and Boston in the next round, which is going to be an incredible series. And the next one is Phoenix and New Orleans. And is Zion Williamson ever going to come back for the series? No.
They're not going to let him come back.
That would've been
Zion needs to lose some weight before he comes back. That dude's going to be out of the NBA.
He is easily 300 pounds.
It's unfortunate that he's in New Orleans, probably going like jambalaya and stuff down there. You got to slow down on crawdad with Ed.
Crawdads are good.
They are, but with Ed, him and Ed,
Yeah, him and Ed Ogeron.
they got to get out of that.
Go Falcons.
Zion's got to lose some weight. Go Pales.
Go Pales. God, if Zion was playing,
I might take Phoenix.
I might.
Or I'm sorry.
I might take the Pelicans too.
With Booker out.
Yeah, that's.
I'm tempted to take the Pelicans with Booker
Especially-
out right now.
Yeah, especially if Brandon Ingram plays like he did. Like, oh my God.
And I don't trust Chris Paul in the playoffs. And and you know if Scott Foster's calling the games, Phoenix
It's over.
automatically loses. Yeah, because Chris Paul. I mean, it's good.
For
they
some reason, he
automatically
just never
lose.
wins. But
That's annoying.
there might be something to it.
No,
But
there's not. Scott Foster's one of the most well-respected officials. Anyway,
yeah, him and Ed Malloy.
yeah.
Um,
Him, Angel, and Joe, and they're
Yeah.
all in the same group of bad sports officials. Whenever that Saints
don't even
was.
get me started with Joe West. That man hates the Cubs, and I don't even want to hear any argument against it. Anyway, I have Phoenix. I have Phoenix winning this one in 7. Now that Devin Booker is down for 2 to 3 weeks, I think
That could be two series.
Yeah, I think. Jesus, I think the Pelicans will be able to push this to 7 games, but I do think the Phoenix Suns will be able to pull it out because they still have Chris Paul, who is a good player, and they still have DeAndre Ayton. They still have Cam Johnson.
And Cameron Payne off
Yeah, and him, and yeah, I think the Suns will be able to win it in
Don't forget
7.
about Gilbridges too.
Oh yeah,
Underrated
Mikal Bridges.
player.
He is very underrated. The next one is a really, really interesting series: the Dallas Mavericks and the Utah Jazz. This one is really, really hard because if Luka Doncic just goes off for like 40, the Mavericks are really hard to beat. If Luka doesn't shoot 15 threes and misses 12 of them,
Which happens a lot.
yeah, which happens a lot.
That's a streaky shooter.
Yeah, if he is on a good streak, they're really, really hard to beat. But I have the Jazz winning this one. I think the Jazz will be able to win because I think Donovan Mitchell is that guy. I think Rudy Gobert can't really score, but he can defend. But yeah, I have the Jazz winning.
Do you want to bet Mountain Dew on it? You know how they bet Diet?
Yeah, let's bet some Diet Dew.
I want the points though. He always wants the points.
How much you want to bet? 2 cases?
Diet Dew.
Do 2 cases of Dew.
I want the points though, Skip.
Okay. God, I love that show. That's
the best sports show. I think.
yes.
Besides maybe inside the NBA, but
When, as soon as Max Kellerman left First Take, Skip and Shannon was automatically better.
skipping Stephen A on First Take is so good.
That was
I wish he
amazing.
would have never left.
I wish he would have never left too.
God, they had Shannon on as a guest sometimes. Imagine just skip Shannon and Stephen A on one show.
That would be incredible. I would love it.
And Molly. I hate her. She loves him all the time.
You know who else loved Molly?
Who?
Max Kellerman.
Yeah, for sure. He hated that woman.
Yeah, he did. So yeah, I have the Jazz winning in 7. I have the Jazz winning in 7. I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
I got the Mavericks winning 7, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think Donovan Mitchell is just that guy.
Jalen Brunson had a good game, right? Like 41.
And the next one is right now for me, I think could be the finals favorites because they've just been there. They've done that. They do have Steph back, who is currently, as of right now,
Playing
healthy
well.
And they still have Clay. They still have Draymond. And they have another Splash brother in Jordan Poole.
Oh, my goodness.
Incredible.
Okay.
I think they'll be able to sweep the Nuggets because they don't have Jamal Murray. All they have is
They don't
Jokic.
have Michael Porter either.
Yeah, they don't have Michael Porter either, and yeah, all they have is Jokic, and I don't think Jokic can carry
Will
you.
Barton. Or Aaron Gordon, probably.
Who?
Probably Aaron Gordon. Probably their second best player. Will Barton.
But I think Golden State will be able to sweep the Nuggets, and they'll move on. And last, but certainly not least, which is a very entertaining series, just objectively, it'll be a really entertaining series, is the Memphis Grizzlies.
Has the potential.
And the Timberwolves, which I never thought I would say in my life. The Timberwolves actually having a shot to win a playoff series.
Yeah.
I think the Timberwolves have a
Not
chance. The Timberwolves, you cannot deny they have a chance.
Well, sure, there's a chance zombies come down and kill us right now.
No, there's not.
But,
They don't exist.
Yeah, we don't need it as the Timberwolves winning playoff series. So.
It will in about a couple years. You'll just see when we beat the Celtics in the finals.
That'll be the day.
Yes, it will.
God,
Anyway.
imagine the Timberwolves Celtics finals, or
Oh, it's over. It's over.
or a Seahawks Vikings, or a Falcons Vikings.
NFC Championship.
Yeah. Or the Braves and the Cubs. I don't think you want
the
that
NFC.
right now.
Not right now.
Okay. You
Maybe
don't
when we
want playoff Madsen
Maybe-
coming up there in the bullpen.
Maybe when we get a couple more starters and a decent bullpen.
You don't want playoff Madsen right now. And playoff Freed.
You don't want Kyle Hendricks at the plate.
Yeah.
Hey, he got a hit in the World Series.
One.
Yeah.
Still
Still impressed.
12 of them.
But anyway, the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves will be able to push this to 7 games. I don't know. I don't think that the Wolves will be able to win every single game in the Target Center. I think they'll be able to win 2 games in the Target Center.
So you're banking on
But-
them winning one more
Yeah.
or you have them winning 2 out of 3
Yeah.
in
I think-
Minnesota.
yeah.
Okay.
I think this is how it's going to go. I think we'll win game 3. I think we'll lose game 4. I think we'll win game 6. But I do have the Grizzlies winning in 7. I think the Grizzlies will be able to barely squeak by the feisty Timberwolves, which you have to admit. Anyway, you have to admit the Timberwolves are a tough out in the first round. And we're probably, out of all the 7 and 8 seeds, we're probably the best team out of all of them, I would say. Other than maybe
I'd say
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, but I mean,
Not looking too good right now.
I'd say Brooklyn and maybe the Pelicans, but no,
We're better than the Pelicans.
I don't know. The Pelicans are good. I'm definitely not the Hawks. You got them beat, but
But I do think the Grizzlies will win in 7. All right, the next round, let's talk about the conference semis.
not have much different. I had
No, not much
the
different.
Grizzlies in 6. So.
Yeah. All right, the conference semis. I have the Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers. And if they were playing right now, I'd probably have the Sixers winning. But I think the Heat will be able to win that series. I think it'll go to 7 games. I think the Heat will be able to win that series. I think Jimmy Butler has a good series. I think Tyler Herro has a great series. I think Bam Adebayo is able to hold Joel Embiid in check a little bit. I think the Heat will be able to win that series, and they'll move on to the conference finals. And the Celtics and the Bucks. Now, if the Bucks had Chris Middleton, I would easily have the Bucks winning. Not easily, but I would have the Bucks winning. But if they're out,
Just say it. Easily winning.
well,
What,
it would be a
6?
little bit more easy to pick them if they. But if they're out of if they don't have Chris Middleton, I think the Celtics will win. I think they'll win in 6 games against the Bucks if they don't have Chris Middleton with it for that series. I think
shorter than me. I am at 7.
Really? I think the Celtics will win in 6 if they don't have Chris Middleton. And the Celtics and the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals, which I think would be a great series. That's a tough series to pick. I have to move on. Let's talk about the Jazz and the Suns. Why are you looking at me like that? Don't look at me like that. That's so weird. Suns and the Jazz. As you can tell, I came really, really prepared for this.
We make up our segments on the fly. We don't plan these.
These are uncut segments, and we don't do any editing at all. Maybe one day.
We probably should.
Once we get the production value, we will.
We love you 8 subscribers, though.
Yeah, we love you. Yeah, 7, 8.
I think it's 8 now.
Really? Whoa, we picked up one more. How's it going?
We're getting to be a big deal. Yeah. Please don't unsubscribe.
Don't unsubscribe.
Watch them go unsubscribe.
Like the video, leave a comment, hit that red subscription button.
And the bell.
Hit the bell.
Since we're probably going to be the most inconsistent uploaders, but
we won't. We'll be okay. And okay, if the Suns don't have Devin Booker, I have the Jazz winning. I think the Jazz will be able to win that series because I think Donovan Mitchell, again, he's that guy. He's so good. And Rudy Gobert, again, cannot score to save his life, but he can defend. I think he'll be able to keep Ayton in check. But I do have the Jazz winning in 7. I think the Jazz will be able to win that series in 7. Now we have the Warriors and the Grizzlies. And if the Warriors keep playing like this, I think the Warriors would be able to win that series in 5 games. I think the Warriors will be able to just crush the Grizzlies. But, man, the Warriors just look so damn good right now. I think the Warriors will be able to move on to the conference semis. The conference finals. And now, I don't want to talk about this one because this is really hard. But I have the Heat and the Celtics in the conference finals for the Eastern Conference. This is probably the toughest one for me to pick because, again, the Celtics might be the best defensive team in the league.
I will say this just before you pick.
Yeah.
If the Heat play the Celtics, I would have the Celtics beating the Heat, but I would have the Celtics beating the Heat in 6 or 7, but I would have the Sixers beating the Celtics because I don't think the Celtics have an answer for Joel Embiid inside.
Yeah.
I think Adebayo is not as much of a scorer inside as much as a defensive lockdown player. So I think that Joel Embiid is going to give Boston a lot of problems because Boston historically has not been able to guard Embiid. So I think
how tall is Robert Williams?
6'9", but he's really athletic, so that kind of makes up for it, I guess, if you want to say. But he's not going to be the one to guard him. Yeah, Horford probably guarding him, but and Horford is a good defender. But I would have the Celtics beating the Heat, but the Sixers beating the Celtics. So,
yeah,
I know the 8 people want to know. So.
Yeah, the 8 people want to know. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to just sound like I'm agreeing with you, but again, I do have the Celtics beating the Heat because, again.
In 7.
Yeah.
They're in 6.
I think it'll go to 7 games if the Heat do play the Celtics.
I agree.
I think it'll go to 7. I think.
We win in D-Wade's house.
Yeah. I think Jason Tatum has a monster series like he is right now. Well, not in game 2, but Jason Tatum is having a good series, and I think he'll have another one against the Heat. I think he'll be able to beat the Heat. Not him, but the Celtics be able to beat the Heat in 7. I think the Celtics move on to the finals.
I will say one thing that is a little concerning is that Spoelstra is a good coach. I'm not saying Udoka isn't a good coach, but Ime is a first-year coach. Ime is going to be really, really good, especially on defense. Boston's going to be the best defensive team for years to come.
Yeah, he's like the Tony Bennett of the NBA.
Yeah, he coached with Pop, so he coached with Greg Popovich. Always had the best defensive team. So I think that Boston. I I think that is a little concerning because I think Spoelstra could possibly outcoach him there, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think that Boston's going to win. I just think Jason Tatum is a star. So, I mean, Jaylen Brown's really good, too. So,
Yeah.
you get Robert Williams back. I mean, Boston's beating Brooklyn 2-0 right now without Robert Williams, who is their best interior defender, maybe the best interior defender in the Eastern Conference. So, I mean,
I never thought that the Celtics would be up 2-0 right now. I thought it would at least be 1-1.
yeah.
But anyway, let's move on to the Jazz and the Warriors. And I think the Warriors sweep the Jazz. I think they absolutely clean house, and I think they just easily walk into the finals. And Steph Curry has a good series. Not a great one, but a good one. Jordan Poole continues to play great. Draymond Green continues
has
to
that
lock
one
people
good
down.
game.
Yeah, has one good game, but still plays defense. And Klay Thompson has a great series. They move on to the finals and play the Celtics.
I would hate that matchup.
Yeah.
Don't say so hard to guard.
Yeah, and in this series, I'm going to take the Warriors to win. And I'll say the Warriors win in 6. I don't think it goes to 7 games. I think the Warriors win in 6. But
I think the experience comes into play in that series.
Exactly. Just because
I don't think Boston is
I
don't think Golden State is necessarily better than Boston. I just think Golden State has the playoff experience.
Exactly. They've been to like 4 finals?
5 or 5.
Yeah. And countless playoff games. They've been there. They've done that. I think they win in 6. I think Jason Tatum has a mediocre series because it's his first finals. He'll get better, obviously. But I do have the Warriors winning it all. That's my predictions.
So we agree, Golden State.
Yeah, we agree, Golden State.
I really don't want them to win again.
I don't either. I'm
so sick of Golden State. And I thought their dynasty was over when Durant left. I was like, oh, the dynasty's finally over.
Nope,
there it is. They may win again.
Yeah, because they just replaced Durant with Jordan Poole. They have another guy that can just rain down threes on you.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to some college basketball news. Jay Wright retires. I never thought I would see this happen. I know he's been coaching for a long time, but I don't understand why he
caught me off guard. This one caught me off guard.
It did too. It caught me off guard, and I don't know why. I haven't read why he retired. I don't know if he's put out something that says why he retired, but this really, really shocked me. And Villanova is going to feel that loss big time because I don't know if there's any other coach that can have as not little of talent, but not as good of talent as other teams and still be one of the 4 best teams in the nation every single year.
Yeah.
I don't think another coach for Villanova can do that.
Yeah. So this is what Jay Wright has said today. Over the past 21 years, I have had the opportunity to live out a professional dream as the head coach at Villanova, Wright said in a statement. Patty is his wife, and I have been blessed to work with incredible, gifted young men who allowed us to coach them and brought us unmatched joy. We cannot overstate our gratitude to the players, coaches, and administrators who have been with us on this path. It has been an honor and privilege to work at Villanova, especially under Father Peter and Mark Jackson. So he also said, now, though, it's time for us to enter a new era of Villanova basketball. After 35 years in coaching, I'm proud and excited to hand over the reins to Villanova's next coach. I'm excited to remain part of Villanova and look forward to working with Father Peter, Mark, and the rest of the leadership team. Once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat. So that was a statement that he released today, talking about Villanova. So now the question to me is we have Coach K retiring.
Yeah.
And I think we both agreed when Coach K retired that Jay Wright is probably the next best coach.
Yeah, we did.
So who do you go to now? Is it
Bill Self?
I don't know about that, but I just don't know. Bill Self is. I'm not high on Bill.
Coach.
He's good, but I'm not high on Bill Self.
Well, he's probably the best one left.
Yeah, I think he's better than Calipari, but
yeah, Calipari is.
I would
not
say
as high on Calipari as some
not
people
either.
are.
I would say
He's
right
a
now,
great recruiter, though. You
Yeah.
got to give him that. He's a great recruiter.
Yeah, another
He
guy.
got Oscar Tshiebwe to come back.
He did.
How? What? He would have been a top 5 pick?
Probably not.
Tshiebwe?
I'd say maybe late first round.
Really?
I mean, she really can't shoot, so
Well, no, but he still won the Player of the Year in college basketball.
Yeah, I think that. I think at this point, the 5 coaches to me that are in contention is Self. I think Mark Few. You got to put Mark Few in there.
Yeah.
Calipari. I think it's Hubert Davis. I think Tony Bennett, and I would say maybe
Baylor's
maybe
coach.
Scott Drew.
Yeah.
I would say are the 5 that you'd have to argue at this point are there. I mean, I think there's some other ones who are a little bit like under the radar. I think Kelvin Sampson for Houston is really good.
Musselman for
Eric Musselman's a good coach.
Yeah.
Nate Oates for Alabama is becoming. I know Alabama didn't have the best year, but I think he's a good coach. Chris Beard is a good coach at Texas. Rick Barnes is a good coach at Tennessee. So I mean, I don't know. If I had to choose someone, you'd probably say Self, just because he has the more titles. He has 2, and Calipari only has 1. But
yeah, he won one in what was it, 2008?
yeah, he won one against
another
Memphis
one
and
recently,
an
which
8
was
seed.
Unnamed.
Yeah, but he won one against Memphis and Carolina.
Memphis was good that year, though.
Yeah, but I mean, he won one against Carolina that was an 8 seed. I mean, to me, those just aren't. He doesn't have impressive wins in the tournament. The wins
still
just
hard
aren't
to win,
impressive. Yeah, it is. Jim Boeheim's the other one I would throw in that list, but I think Jim Boeheim's probably.
I can't stand when the Tar Heels play against Syracuse.
Because we can't ever we
know.
win, but we only win by like 5.
Yeah,
or
we
less
always
than
make
5.
it stressful.
Yeah.
It's always
but we
comes
seem to
down to
never
last
lose.
shots. Huh?
Like we never seem to lose, but
I
we
know.
always seem to. It either goes into overtime.
It always
we can't get
seems
past
like-
that damn zone.
Yeah, no, it always seems like we're about to lose, and then somebody makes a huge 3, and then we win.
But to me, I think you'd have to say Bill Self is probably the next best coach. I guess.
Probably.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I'm really,
I'm
really
not
surprised.
Really high on any coaches at this point in basketball. I would say I think Hubert Davis is going to be good. I think Tony Bennett is good.
Yeah.
Tony Bennett didn't even make the tournament this year, so I mean, it's hard to say he's a top 5 coach.
He just needs to learn how to coach some offense.
Yeah,
I mean, nobody on Virginia can score.
I think Scott Drew, to me,
Yeah.
is maybe outside of Bill Self the next one, because Scott Drew
He's great.
is really good, and it has taken a long time to build it, but he's done it.
Yeah.
And if let's be real, if LJ Sayer was playing and Chamu Chacho was playing, Carolina was not going to beat Baylor in that game.
I don't know if there was many teams that could have beat Baylor.
Yeah, that's just Baylor to me. If Baylor did not have injuries, I would have snapped I would have snapped in a finger in a snap of a finger. I would have picked Baylor to win the whole thing again.
Oh yeah.
Because I just don't think that there was anybody who was better than that team.
No.
And Chamo Chacho is coming back next year. You're also going to have Flo Thamba come back. So this Baylor defense is going to be right back where it was, and they're going to be the best defensive team next year, whether we'll see about the injuries. But they're probably going to be the best defensive team again.
And you have Arkansas, who's also on the rise. Musselman's created a great program there. Jaden Note's coming back. Jalen,
you can throw in there too.
What'd you say?
Tom Izzo.
Yeah, Tom Izzo, yeah, Michigan State. It's about time for him to retire too, because he's getting up there. God, a new era of college basketball
Not
is
until he
coming.
plays Carolina.
What'd you say?
Not until he plays Carolina. God, that would have been great if if Villanova would have won
Yeah.
and we beat Villanova.
Oh,
We would have
been
retired
so
Coach KM for Jay Wright.
That would have been amazing because, again, Jay Wright won a title other than 2018 that shall remain unnamed.
Honestly, the Kansas
Still
game kind of
PTSD.
annoys me a little bit more than the Villanova
No.
game.
The
Those to me
Villanova
because
game was worse.
not to me because Carolina had to fight all the way back in the game. They were down 6. They never really had the game.
Yeah, they did at halftime.
Yeah, but then they lost it, and then they had to fight back to get back.
Oh, you're
to
talking
where
about
they
the
were.
Villanova game. I'm talking about
Yeah.
the Kansas game.
Oh no,
We had that game.
no, that's what I mean. That's why I say the Kansas game to me is more
Okay.
annoying than the Villanova game, because the Villanova game
I could be talking to it.
we lost but we had to fight our way back, and then we lost. The Kansas game we had it won. So but anyway, anyway. Congratulations to Jay Wright, outstanding career, and if he did not retire, would undoubtedly be the best coach in college basketball. If he did not, but
Without a shadow of a doubt.
congratulations to him. Really, really good coach. And a
Hell
good
yeah.
coach who doesn't need top 10 recruits to win either. So,
Mm-mm.
really great coach. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Let's move on to some more news coming out of our favorite city this week on The Boys.
Dallas. Yeah, that's probably
Yeah,
where I'm going
there's a-
this summer.
There's a couple people that you know in Dallas that you don't really care for.
Yeah, I care about a few of them. Not care about. I don't like any of them there. But anyway, I'm about to go there too. So let's hope that I'll end up Jerry or the other one.
Where are you going? Jerry World? Rangers game? What?
Yeah, Rangers game.
Okay.
Let's hope I don't run into either of them down there. But
Yeah. You know who you are.
yeah. She's one of the 8 subscribers.
Probably.
So you got the news on that one. I'll have that. So
Well, apparently, a Texas woman who claimed that Jerry Jones was her real father has asked for a DNA test. And I think this is just hilarious.
yeah,
'cause
it's awesome.
it's just so representative of how the Dallas Cowboys are. There's just news pumping out of
This
there.
represents Jerry. This
Exactly.
describes Jerry so much.
Exactly.
This right here that he would pay and give us someone a Range Rover.
Exactly.
Just to keep that's the most Jerry thing. I
It
feel
is.
like.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's just hilarious. I love all the news that the Cowboys gives us. Okay, let's go to final takes. You have any final takes?
This is breaking news. Luka Doncic has been rolled out for Game 3.
Oh, God.
So
The Jazz better win
that
now.
might be interesting. Also, baseball people. I saw two things in the last 24 hours that have annoyed me. Number one, the Otani deal with the perfect game.
Yeah.
He went through 5 innings with a perfect game, and then in the 6th inning, Nico Goodrum tried to bunt. Get over it.
Yeah.
All I hear from young people and baseball fans is, "Oh, the unwritten rules, they annoy me," and I hate unwritten rules too. One of the unwritten rules is you don't bunt when somebody has a perfect game. He was in the 6th inning. There's a player every single week who's in the 6th inning who has a perfect game. Max Fried
Or
had a
another.
perfect game through 5 innings the other day.
Yeah.
And by the way, ESPN didn't even post about it. I'm also just going to put that out there. because-
Clayton Kershaw had a perfect game and we're through 7 innings against the Twins with
Yeah.
13 strikeouts, and Dave Roberts pulls him out of the
Okay.
game.
if you bunt in the 8th inning against Kershaw, in the 8th inning, okay. If you're in the last 2 or 3 innings, that's
And
a little
plus
bit
they
of a
were up
jerky move.
And plus, the Dodgers were up 7 at that point.
Yeah, I mean, but come on, get over it. Also, the other one, Miguel Cabrera, he's 1 hit shy of 3,000, gets intentionally walked. Who cares? He's going to get it in the next 2 days.
Yeah.
Who cares? What does it matter?
And plus, it was the right move too. It was a
Yeah.
good decision by Aaron Boone. It didn't work out.
No, but still, I mean, he's
Austin
going to.
Meadows gets another hit, but you get a chance for a ground ball and to get him out at first base.
I mean,
But
get over it. He's going to get. They act like
he was
this is
playing the matchup. He had a lefty on the mound. He faced Austin Meadows. That's a good matchup.
Yeah, he's acting like that Miguel Cabrera's legacy is like hurt by this.
Yeah.
Miguel Cabrera is one of the best hitters since in the 21st
He won the
century.
freaking Triple Crown.
Yeah, come on.
How many
It's-
times has that been done?
He's
Not
gonna
many.
get it in like 2 or 3 days.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's my only final take. I want to just put that out there. So stop it with the unwritten rules. And also, Scott Foster is not the reason Chris Paul loses. Chris Paul loses because Chris Paul is not a good playoff performer. And I'll take that in my grave because Chris Paul is not a good playoff performer. He's just not. He's just not.
A little bit of a hot take.
No, he's not. He's not. He was terrible in the finals last year, and he's just not a good performer. Devin Booker is a good playoff performer, but Chris Paul is not. He never has been, and he never will be. Some
Yeah.
people got it, some don't. Chris Paul and LeBron don't. So,
Yeah, especially LeBron.
yeah, Jason Tatum got it. Kevin Durant don't. Some got it, some do.
Okay. No bias in those statements at all.
No.
And for me, I have no final takes because I've said everything that's on my mind, and you pretty much took all of my final takes. So thank you for that, sir.
Yeah.
Well, this has been another episode of The Stove, and be sure to like this video, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we will see you all on Thursday.
Tuesday.
Oh yeah, it is Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See you
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. Like he said. Bye.